9.23. I guess they don't go to 10 yet. Oh, did they change this page? This page looks weird. Why did they change the page? I feel uncomfortable. Bring it back to the old one. Okay, whatever. I think we can agree that this is probably a better layout than the old page, so it's fine. And they're not even by Shouju. Damn it. Okay, I guess we'll work with what we got. To all the iPhone jailbreakers out there, I'm sorry. This is the kind of coverage I do on my channel. I make League of Legends patch note videos for one view. So fuck you. Patch 9.23 notes. Welcome to the preseason. Hope you're ready for some big shakeups to Summoner's Rift, expansions and overhauls to multiple item systems, and major work to a bunch of keystones. In many respects, this is our most ambitious preseason in years, and we're excited to see what new picks and strategies develop in a world where the map itself changes during the game. As usual, the next couple of months will be all about stabilizing the new meta as we head towards season start. So now's the time to jump in if you want to be ahead of the curve when rank kicks off in the new year. On the rank note, we are looking to scratch your competitive itch. TFT's rank season starts this patch. Warp on over to the Teamfight Tactics patch notes to get up to speed on what's going on in the convergence. Best of luck in both your preseason matches and in making it through this wall of patch notes. Hey, I think I can do it. I think I can do it. For those who haven't seen it, here's the notes. Whoa, is that the Mountain Drake? That's incredible. Infernal Dragon. Whoa! And the Ocean Drake? Rise of the Elements, Infernal Rift. Makes the entry to the pit really big. Really big. And it also burns down blue buff's house and red buff's house. It allows for Scion to kill Lux. The Mountainous Rift. Big blockade in the front here of the Dragon Pit. A new rock there, and a new rock there. Watch as this Camille fucking script flashes over that ash arrow. Ocean Rift. Add lots of bushes and honey fruits to your side of the map. Just so that Nami can get killed in the river by Rengar. And of course the Cloud Rift. Red buff, blue buff, and the Dragon Pits. I think I'll get it. The Alcove. Here's Exhibit A of why the Alcove's gonna be fucking obnoxious. Dude, you're gonna be blown away. Oh my god, this Gnar, he's so good. Oh, this was incredible gameplay. How did he possibly do it? Whoa! Oh my god! Oh my god! He's so good! That's fucking bullshit. You should be punished for that. You should be punished because you're a very naughty girl. Kill 4 dragons to get a soul. Infernal Soul, Mountain Soul, Ocean Soul, and Cloud Soul. Infernal Soul is an AoE explosion on attacks, which honestly seems quite good, but compared to the other ones, it's fucking nothing. This one seems the best. Mountain Soul seems the absolute fucking best. Look at that. That's 300 health? Boink! And 100, 200, 300 health. Cloud Soul. Go fast as the wind. and the Elder Dragon make escaping no fun. Whoa. Start the journey. Incredible. Some new skins that nobody cares about. End of season rewards, blah 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 blah. Elemental rifts. This preseason, we're adding more game-to-game variety and opportunities for mastery to Summoner's Rift. Well, I don't know what mastery is involved with RNG, but okay, cool. After the second elemental drake of the game dies, the map will permanently transform to one of 4 elemental rifts, each with unique terrain changes that'll alter the way you take on teamfights, rotations, visions, and objective control. Elemental rifts don't favor a specific team, so games are still in players' hands regardless of which one takes shape. We also wanted to ensure the rift feels intuitive even in your first game, so they don't introduce any new mechanics, and terrain changes always occur in the same areas no matter which element spawns. Transformation trigger. After the second elemental drake dies and the third is announced. Isn't that immediately? Rift element, same as the element of the third drake. Okay, I got it. So, the first and second dragons don't do anything except for give you buffs and work towards changes. But the third dragon, even before it's killed, is the map transformation. Once the map transforms, all future elemental drake spawns will be of that element only. Nice! Oh, dude, that's so great! Wow, you're telling me that after they get 1 infernal drake, they're guaranteed to get 2 more after that? Wow, that's terrific. That is such a great idea. Terrain changes always occur in the 4 quadrants centered around the buff camps, as well as in Dragon Pit. Blah blah blah. Jungle, the brush nearest to blue and red burn away. Blah, we've seen all this, we know what happens. This one's kind of weird though. I guess that it's not breaking anything, it just looks like there's an opening in the wall. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's cooking with garlic. I can smell it. Like this wall is wider than this, right? Like it's not normally this open. So why does the mountain drake open up a path here? I thought it was supposed to like blockade things. Yo, they are really cooking with garlic. It stinks, yo. Okay, I got it. Ocean Dragon. This one looks really annoying. So what additional brushes does it add? It adds a second layer here. Other than that, I guess just river. This little second layer looks really annoying, and this brush wraps around more. And there's the honey fruit spawns. Show me the blue side too. It should show both sides. This is bad communication of what changes are happening. By both sides, I mean it should show what happens at the red buff and the blue buff. Dodge skill shots, or make a swift collapse on your enemies trying to sneak a faraway objective. Wow, incredible. Side lane alcoves. We're adding 2 new lane alcoves to the rift. one in each side lane. We don't expect laning to fundamentally change as a result, but the extra terrain and its impact on line of sight could occasionally offer new playmaking opportunities through positioning, jukes, flanks, and ganks. Breathtaking vista of death. New alcoves can have been carved into the outer corners of top and bot. Bot lane brush. 2 long patches and 2 3 patches. Mirroring top lane. Okay. River entrance brush. New brush patches near the blue buff ramps into river add new strategic and tactical options as teams approach and contest objectives. This I really don't like. Especially bot side for dragons and stuff. Oh, it's really fucking bad. Whatever. The new brush has been added by the river entrances. Blah, we got that. Dragon Souls. Dragon Souls are a new endgame payoff for the team who wins the Elemental Drake game. A powerful reward that's similar to an epic objective. Dragon Souls don't offer the same moment-to-moment strength as Baron or Elder buff, but they're permanent and additional bonuses on top of the Drake stacks their bearers already earned. I got Soul. The first team to slay 4 elemental drakes gains a dragon soul, matching the elemental rift. Okay. So you'll know what rift it's gonna be, and you'll know what dragon it's gonna be. Oh, dragon soul it's going to be. Elder dragons begin spawning after one team gains a dragon soul, meaning only the team can have it. Only one team can have it. Okay. Let's see. So it's first to 4. First to 4, and then after 4 dragons have been slain of any type, then elder dragons start to spawn. Duration. Like elemental drake buffs, dragon souls are permanent and persist through death. Infernal Soul. Every 3 seconds, your next damaging ability, attack, or ability on an enemy unit triggers a small explosion, dealing 90 plus 25 bonus. I guess this is 25% bonus attack damage, plus 0.15 ability power. And bonus health as well. Holy mackerel. Damage to targets and nearby enemies. So it doesn't even... The AoE does the same amount of damage to everything. I think that I just built the wrong thing. It's not just to the first unit and then falls off. It does the same to everything, so... If you have 300 AD, which is not unlikely, 25% of 300 would be... trying to get the numbers here. 7 point something. So 70. So you're dealing plus 160-ish. After not taking damage for 5 seconds. We're gonna have to move that up, I think. Shield for 225. And it scales with bonus AD. Oh, very nice, man. Very nice. I really don't like that. Ocean Soul, dealing damage to enemies heals you for 180 plus, and this one scales better than the others. 40% attack damage, 25% ability power, and 10% bonus health. And mana, okay. Damage to minions and monsters regenerates with 30% effectiveness. Okay. Passively gain 10% increased move speed. After casting your ultimate, gain an additional 30% move speed for 3 seconds. Okay. So that's better on some people. That's why they showed Jax in the example. That one's pretty RNG. 30% move speed on some characters after they ult would be fucking nutso, dude. LeBlanc? It's a 30-second cooldown. Okay, so LeBlanc can only get it one time in a fight. I wonder if this scales with CDR, or if this is just flat untouchable. Elemental Drake buffs. Okay, so they're crushing this. Good. We're updating the buffs to be more equal in power and excitement. Stack for stack, elemental buffs are weaker than before to avoid excessive power creeping Summoner's Rift buff ecosystem. With Dragon Souls adding new late game payout to elemental drakes, we're switching from the current front-loaded buff stack back to a linear model. This was not in the original notes, was it? October 22nd. November 7th. Patch notes. I don't want these ones. I want to read the original stuff. It's probably still up here. Oh, this is the original one, right? Item, lethality, keystones. News. Play updates. Blee blee blah blah blah. I guess we'll see sometime later. Anyway, so they changed it from 10, 17, 24 to 5, 10, 15, 20, which is so much better. Oh my god. Thank you. So that means that, okay, let's say that the first dragon is mountain, then the second is ocean, third is infernal, meaning that the rift is going to be an infernal rift. If a team got all 3 of those, and then kills the fourth dragon, which is going to be another infernal, they only get plus 10% attack damage for the rest of the game, which is quite good. That's 7% less than just 2 infernals before. I like that. I feel like they didn't, in the original pass, I thought that that was not how it was. Oops. Ocean, mountain. Elder. Maybe they didn't have the items out before, or not the items, but the numbers out before. I do remember reading this. So, I guess we'll see. This is really good though. This makes the changes much less annoying. Because now if you get 4 Infernal Dragons, which is still really annoying. 20% additional bonus damage to everybody is a lot, but it's still 4% less than it was before. And with the elemental stuff, like in a team fight, maybe you'll get it off 3 times. Most team fights are what, like 10 seconds or less? So maybe you'll get off your additional like 200 or 300 damage 3 times. Extra damage to objectives, but a subtle yet powerful snowballing effect that was often hard to appreciate outside of coordinated plays. We're switching Mountain to a more straightforward effect all players can play around. So it's just tankiness now. Okay. I like that. That reduces mega snowballing too. Like, there are some characters that this is still going to be fucking crazy on. Like, if you get even 8 or 16 or 24% bonus armor on Dr. Mundo, this character is going to be unkillable, so that's okay. Ocean, we're moving Ocean's mana regen to even its power out among users regardless of resource type. That gives us room to allow Ocean's healing to continue in combat, which is a buff for any user. Missing health per 5. And it's always. That's really good then. Ocean's super good then. Nice. Cloud's movement speed was powerful, but not all that exciting. We're moving the speed boost to Cloud Elemental Rift and adding a different kind of haste to Cloud's buff. So this is just ultimate, ignoring the CDR cap. Okay, cool. So this one's probably the most situational out of all of them. Because this is not super useful on a lot of characters. Like, if you're Ashe, okay, yeah, maybe if you're trying to escape and you shoot an arrow, yeah. But on Ari, it's good. On Annie, it's good. On Talon, it's really good. Syndra, if she wants to pop in and out. Most supports, it's really good. Like Leona, Braum, Thresh, it's all really good. But this one's going to be the least impactful on a lot of different characters. Which is fine. There should be kind of a dud one, you know? At least in 25% of your games, you're not going to have to super worry. Mountain seems incredibly strong and Ocean seems incredibly strong, whereas Infernal, because they gutted it by quite a bit, not as bad. Because double Infernal is now even better than 3 Infernals now is. I guess we'll have to see. Elemental Drake mechanics. With Drake types going down to just one element after the Rift transforms, we're ensuring that the first few you see don't double up on elements, so you'll still experience a variety of Drakes each game. That makes sense. Drake spawn order random to the first 3 Drakes are now always 3 unique elements. Thank you! All subsequent Drakes will be the same element as the 3rd Drake. Yes, I read that. That reduces RNG. That is good. Drake spawn window from 5 spawns to 5 initial, then 5 respawns until one team has slain 4 Drakes. Since the elemental Drake buffs are a bit weaker, we're dropping the health of the first 2 Drakes. Battle over the Dragon Soul begins heating up after that, so Drakes after the first 2 have more health. to widen the opportunity for both teams to contest. Per level minimum, level 6 after Rift transforms, 4,350. Plus 240 per level. That's fine. I like this change a lot. This makes a lot of sense to me. They should have communicated this when it first came out, because needless speculation of the public wondering how they're going to do stuff. Like, maybe the numbers weren't finalized, but this is a very well thought out way of combating a bunch of different issues that might arise. So I do appreciate this. Elder Dragon. Up until now, Elder Dragon massively favored the team that was already ahead due to scaling with Drake stacks, and in super long games itself. We're removing that scaling to make room for power that's uniquely rewarding, whether you're pressing a lead or making a comeback. Elemental Dragon buff no longer increases the effects of Elemental Drakes by 50%. Burn damage 90 to 270 true damage over 3 seconds. Wow, that's quite good. Taking Elder Dragon a second time no longer increases the elemental buff multiplier to 100%, or the burn damage. I did not know that this happened. Wow, I did not know that at all. Elder's been in the game for what, 3 years? I did not know that it had a 50% additional wake up and huge true damage increases. Interesting. Elder's new mechanic is an execute, sharpening its identity as the endgame team fighting buff and making its impact much more obvious than damage over time and Drake scaling it used to grant. Note that the 20% threshold looks higher than it is in practice. You'll rarely bring an enemy to exactly 19.9 before they go boom. Execute. Damaging an enemy at less than 20% health causes them to die in an Elder Emulsion after 0.5 seconds. No cooldown denied. Elder Emulsion can't execute enemies through invulnerability effects like Zanya's Hourglass or undying effects like Kindred's R, Lamb's Respite. We're standardizing the duration of Elder and Baron to 3 minutes. These buffs should last long enough for attacking teams to gain real advantage off coordinated power plays, but not so long that attackers come out ahead if they passively leave opponents stuck on defense for extended periods. If these duration changes make Elder too strong or Baron too weak, we'll adjust their effects accordingly. Buff duration 150, loss on death to 180, still lost on death. Final note about how often Elder will actually show up in games. In a complete stomp, the earliest Elder can spawn at 26 minutes, plus time spent in combat with the Drakes. But in a game that's going even or isn't seeing many objectives taken, it's also possible for Elder to never spawn. Well, I guess that's true in the game right now, but I don't know. First Dragon 6. After one team kills their 4th elemental Drake, 6-minute respawn. Baron buff. We're standardizing the duration. Okay, so they just move this from 2:10, which is 3 minutes, right? Or 3.5 minutes. I'll be right back. I'm back! Visual for blue buff, red buffs, burn effect, hand of Baron, aspect of the dragon, Elder Dragon buff have all been updated. All monster buffs are now visually cohesive, including the new dragon buff soul. The one visual that I really wish that they would fix is Grievous Wounds. Grievous Wounds looks fucking horrible. Look at how bad this fucking icon looks. Somebody's got it. This is the arcade one, but it's honestly still this, which is so fucking sad. What is this page? Hello? I wanted the link to the picture. This shit looks so bad. Why is it still like this? It doesn't match the art style of the game anymore. It's a pretty easy buff to or thing to change, just like do something new in a better art style that actually matches the game. If they're going through, they should fix that too. It's the point. All right. Row 1, blue buff, red buff, and Baron. Red buff, burn. Okay, so if you're being attacked by red buff, that's what you see. Elder Dragon, Hand of Baron, all buffs. I like the Baron thing. Elder Dragon looks like it makes more sense thematically. At least you're not just burning. Fine. Rift Herald. With the increased importance of Drakes on the bot side, we're spawning Rift Herald a bit earlier and letting her spawn once so teams don't... letting her respawn once so teams don't completely abandon their top laners in favor of bot lane presence. You know, more than they already do. Yeah, true dat, yo. Initial spawn time from 10 minutes to 8 minutes. It can respawn 6 minutes after that. And it despawns at 9:30, delayed to 9:50 in combat, unchanged. Okay. Health from 10,000 to 8,000. Ooh, that's pretty significant. Makes it much easier. 0.5 to 0.4. It's easier to poke Rift Herald's eye before he spins around. Thank you! There are a lot of times where you're soloing Rift Herald and there's no chance of you dying, but you're like, this thing, I can't get to the eyeball. I have the Herald pickup window, 40 seconds to 20 seconds, easier to deny. I like that. They should reduce that again. I would leave it at 10 seconds. I have the Rift Herald channel from 4 seconds to 1 second. I don't like that. At least before, if somebody was channeling, you could really fucking kill them. Like, if somebody was channeling Rift Herald in a really bad spot, you could cancel Rift Herald and kill that person, or just cancel Rift Herald and it was totally worth it. I don't like them decreasing that window. 1 second is still a pretty decently long time, but... Herald level, average level of all 10 champions determined on using the eye to picking up the eye. Okay, so it scales less aggressively. Health down, yeah, we already read that. Headbutt turret damage. Minimum. So it scales with the level now and it doesn't matter how much health he has? That's okay. Headbutt self-damage to 66% current health. That's really good. At least he's more fragile now. I'm fine with that. Minion XP. We're very lightly adjusting minion XP to slightly equalize the influence top and bot laners have on the game. Solo laners will level about 2% faster from minions, while duo laners or solo laners getting non-stop jungle attention will level about 2% slower. But put another way, every 5 waves adds up to an extra caster minion for solo laners and 1 Fure for bot. It's fine, the caster. Oh, perfect. It wasn't quite good at 29.44. We're looking at 29.76 now, the perfect number. Shared XP is down a little bit. Turret plating. Slightly buffing turret plating durability to prevent group and push blowouts in the early game, especially with Rift Herald changes. Good. A lot of the changes that they're making are also being leveled out by other things. Like, these are less aggressive changes than I thought that they were actually, because they have a bunch of additional changes in place to make the severity of their change less important. That's fine. Doran Shield. Buffing Doran Shield regen to make it a stronger option in melee versus ranged matchups. Up to 40 health over 8 seconds when the damage by an enemy champion based on missing health. 66% effective for ranged users. They could make that even worse. Whatever. Jungle pacing. Yeah, I read some of this. We're incentivizing junglers to prioritize farming rather than just fighting camps in between ganks. Higher camp uptime ensures junglers have consistent access to gold and XP on their side of the map, and the removal of catch-up XP sharpens the cost of failed ganks. Thank you! Wow. They never mentioned that at all. They never, when I was reading the old patch notes for this, they didn't say that they were removing catch-up XP. Thank you. Since junglers will be able to clear their camps more frequently, we're reducing the gold and experience a full clear grant so they don't take over the game. We're also ensuring both sides of the jungle get junglers to level 3 in their first clear. Remove catch-up XP. Okay, good. Camp timers, small camp respawn from 150 to 120. If your team had vision of a small camp when it was killed, you'll see a respawn icon on the minimap 15 seconds before it respawns. 15 seconds before it respawns, fine. Krugs got nerfed, just some stuff here. Lethality items. Hopefully they fuck with these in a way that it makes AD mid laners not as good, because AD mid laner assassins were the kings of mid lane during all of Season 9. Zeds fucking killed everybody, Talons killed everybody, Yasuo was still really good even though he didn't super build these items. It was mainly just Zed. You're like, oh my god, another Zed, wow, congratulations, he built Duskblade, I guess he should be able to kill me. We're taking away Duskblade's utility passive Blackout and giving it a bit more damage, making it the highest lethality and highest AD upgrade to Dirk. Total cost unchanged, attack damage up by 5, lethality same, cooldown reduction same. Night Stalker, after being unseen for 1 second, your next basic attack against an enemy champion within 5 seconds of being unseen by an enemy champion deals 30 plus or 30 to 150 depending on level bonus on hit physical damage melee attacks. Slow the target by 99% for 0.5 seconds after a 0.25 second delay, unchanged. No longer disables nearby wards or reveals nearby traps upon being spotted. Okay, good. Yumu's Ghostblade, active ghost users. This didn't really change anything. I thought this would be more sweeping, but the ability to clear wards was kind of weird, and on certain characters like Rengar it was exceptionally annoying. It's literally the same except for one quality of life buff. Still buy it if you want to go fast. We're only putting this here for ease of comparison. Now allows its user to ignore unit collision for the duration. Okay, good. Edge of Night. Now this one they changed quite a bit. Edge of Night is the defensive lethality option, but attaching that function to an active with a steep learning curve has made it ineffective for many aspiring assassins. Wow, imagine making something difficult to use in League of Legends. Sorry, gonna have to have it cast automatically. We're switching Edge of Night's spell shield to a passive, making it more usable for a much wider range of skills. This reliability incurs a damage cost. Edge of Night no longer grants extra AD or lethality over its components, though we bumped its health to an even thing to even things out overall. Total cost is down by 100 AD, down by 5, lethality down by 8, health up by 75. It's Spell shield. Grants a spell shield that blocks the next enemy ability. The shield refreshes after no damage is taken by an enemy after 40 seconds, so it's just like... Banshees. Spell shield now works like Banshee's Veil. Yeah, got it. Sanguine Blade. What does this do? Gain attack speed and lethality when near one or fewer enemies. The first of our two new items, Sanguine Blade, offers Dusk Blade tier damage when you're hunting a lone enemy, but drops closer to Edge of Night levels when you're teamfighting. Go 1v1 somebody, or 2v1, or 5v1, but where's the honor in that? Good point, dude. 3,000 gold, serrated dirk, vampiric scepter, and 1,000 gold. That's a pretty steep upgrade cost. Attack damage 50, lethality 10, lifesteal 15. That's pretty good considering vampiric scepter is only 10, I think. Vamp scepter. Yeah, 10, so it's plus 5. Blood Pursuit. While near one or fewer visible enemy champions, gain 8 lethality and 40 to 100% attack speed, decaying over 3 seconds if the enemy champions get too close. Okay. I feel like these don't match the art style of League of Legends. Whoever made this art, like, it doesn't look bad, but these look substantially different than, like, Yumu's is cartoony, Duskblade is cartoony, Edge of Night is cartoony. This shit is not the right art style for League of Legends to mesh with the current item set. It looks out of place. Like, even look at Dirk. Look at Dirk and then look at this. These are two completely different games. Umbral Glaive, new Blackout item, the second lethality edition, and the new home of the Blackout passive. Umbral Glaive's stats aren't too high, but it's also the cheapest lethality item. Pick it up if you want to black out the enemy's map. That's why the passive is called Blackout. Haha. Dirk, Longsword, 600 gold. So you're basically bypassing the does it come with CDR? Well, you get 10% CDR anyway. What's the point? You could just have Longsword be replaced with Caulfield's hammer, and then change this to 200. What's the difference if you're gonna give them the fucking cooldown reduction anyway? Who cares? Whatever. That sounds stupid. I don't know why it's built like that. I guess it's so that you can't get Caulfields out of it. Like, you need to have less of a power spike if you go back and only have 400 gold. But this is still really fucking weird. I don't like that a lot. Just because of that, probably nobody's gonna buy it, to be honest. Dirk, your next damaging spell no longer deals 40% bonus physical damage after you kill an enemy. Okay, fine. Mechanics update. We're refreshing support items to be less poachable by solo laners and have an expanded quest system that provides free automatic upgrades, letting supports start the rest of their build earlier. Wow, perfect! Because if there was one thing I knew about Season 9 supports, it's that they weren't getting their build early enough. This should also lead to more build diversity between champs that use the same starter. As a trade-off, Tribute no longer damages the spoils of war, no longer heals, so supports have less impact in the early lane phase. At max tier, we've removed the blah blah blah. Most of the gold of these effects granted are still earned in the lower tiers past blah 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 blah. Support items still have 3 tiers, but now upgrade automatically for free as you complete their quests. 400 gold, blah 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 blah. Anti-poaching farming. More than 20 CS per 5 minutes, 3 out of 10 waves, reduces gold from minions by 50%. Penalty increases further, CS. Okay, once the penalty kicks in, your CS gold is reduced to 70 minus CS. Okay, whatever. They could make it even more aggressive than that, because this still opens up a lot of opportunity for somebody to just like let Master Yi snowball, whatever it's called. Funnel? The funnel strat? This makes funnel strat really good, because, hey, you can't get 20 CS, you gotta just count them. And there's hard break points, like 20. I don't know, sounds kinda dumb. Spell Thief Sag, yeah, we'll just see how this goes. Seems more or less the same. Blah 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 blah, Relic Shield. Steel Shoulder Guards line. Shurelias. Total cost down. Shield and heal and shield power 10%. Health regen 100%. So this is better for some people. We sharpens Shurelias into an engage-disengage tool that's specifically for enchanters, whose main focus is buffing their allies rather than leaving. If an ambiguous flex pick that mage supports can also spec into, given they've got items that help them peel for their team. Whatever. Ugh, this is really very long. Stormrazor's damage from blah 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 blah. Stormrazor. Energized damage increase. Slow is stronger but shorter. Now grants crit chance. Attack damage. Attack speed decrease. Build path updated. Cost increased. I can't wait for Kaisa, the only character that builds this item, to fucking kill me a million times. Thank you. AD down by 5. 25% crit chance. Attack speed down by 15. Energized damage up by 70. Energized slow 40% decaying over 1.5 to 75% over 0.5. Non-decaying. Okay, it's just a mix-up. Does make it slightly worse on Kaisa though, because of the crit chance though, in my opinion as well, so I guess we'll see. RFC, energized damage, now flattened to 120, so it's way stronger earlier. No longer causes energized effects to work on turrets, because that's baseline energized functionality now. No longer increases energized charge rates. Lower late, same damage. Shiv lightning can no longer critically strike. Lightning bounces to 7, so the charge is the same. The damage is slightly higher in the AoE, but slightly lower on just smacking somebody. We've talked about already, but also because fully stacked energized items 360 damage get you more power, i.e. Shiv crits, did previously to 325 damage. Since this is still an early to mid game nerf, we're also folding Stormrager's old bonus increase into Shiv's baseline. Blah 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 blah. So many words. You're wasting my time! Cost up to 700 from 600, and the energized damage base is up by 30. That's actually... because it's more expensive, I guess it doesn't really matter. But most of the time when you bought this, you were like, I guess I have to. 80 damage instead of 50 damage is still pretty good. Brawler's Glove removed? What? We're streamlining crit items down to one component. This is a slight nerf to build flexibility, particularly early game, since Cloak requires more time spent farming before it can be picked up. So now we just have Crit Cloak. The good news is we're buffing Cloak. It now gives the same amount of crits as a complete item. Oops. Just laying a few on the blah 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 blah. Zeal. Increased in price by 200 from Brawler's Glove, Dagger, and 500 gold to combine to a Cloak, Dagger, and 300. Crit strike chance from 15 to 25. Attack speed down by 3%, and movement speed is still 5. Build path updated. Dagger Zeal 900. Sojin removed. ZZ Rot removed. Ohm Wrecker removed. Raptor Cloak removed. Item set editor cleanup. It's fine. Klepto removed. Klepto was designed as a rune that allowed users to build a gold advantage over opponents at the cost of the immediate power other keystones provide. Created moment-to-moment changes in laning dynamic. So dude, this is like word salad. Why does this need to be so fucking huge? This is needlessly thick in terms of text. Like, what is the point? Just tell me what you removed it for. Creating moment-to-moment changes in laning dynamics depending on what you got from procs. The experience Klepto created for opponents, however, be farmed for gold by constant harass damage has been rough, especially for range versus melee matchups. Removing gold as an incentive only left the moment-to-moment dynamic changes as Klepto's design core. The League's community no, community. League's consumable item system isn't deep enough to carry an entire keystone on its back. Sorry, Klepto. Even for an inspiration rune, you were too weird. Holy fucking hell. Who wrote this? Prototype. What is prototype? Omnistone, a keystone meant to be Kleptomancy's spiritual successor. Like the elixir portion of Klepto's design, Omnistone is about making use of what you've got in the moment. Relative to the individual keystones it offers, Omnistone's advantage is that users can rapidly cycle through keystones that otherwise have much longer cooldowns. Okay. Roulette. Periodically gain a single use of a random keystone. Once a keystone is rolled, it can't be rolled again until only 3 options are left, at which point the table resets. Wow, what an overly complicated bullshit thing. Why take one keystone when you could have them all? Haha! Conqueror no longer converts 8% of damage against champions to true damage at full stacks. At full stacks, Conqueror heals. Why? We already have a healing one. True damage conversion removed. Healing is now post-mitigation. Max stacks increased. Melee champions now gain double stacks. Range stacks no longer expire faster. What's the point of this? We already have a healing thing. Conqueror has been too effective at allowing sustained damage fighters to deal with tanks. What? That's the whole fucking point of it, is it not? Dude, there are tanks that are literally unkillable in the game right now. If Dr. Mundo comes running at you, you can't do anything. You cannot cut through 300 armor as an 80 carry. There's nothing you can do. That shit's whack, yo. What the fuck? Who have lost their place in solo lane as a result. We're removing the true damage conversion and changing the heal to post mitigation damage so Conqueror doesn't hard counter tanks, but buffing its adaptive force to keep it strong. We've also changed up Conqueror's range melee split so ranged users are a bit less disadvantaged, though Conqueror remains a melee focused rune. I don't know how adaptive force works. So you still get bonus damage? I don't know. This just... what's the point? Aftershock, big old debuff on the flat. Damage. Slight buff. Cooldown, huge buff, 15 seconds. Aftershocks, resistances no longer last for slightly longer than intended. Presence of mind, increase mana or energy pool on takedown instead of refunding alt cooldown, now restores energy in addition to mana. This rune's alt cooldown refund overlaps too much with Cloud Drake's new buff, admittedly. So does Ultimate Hunter, but Ultimate Hunter is usable by more champions and has a clearer goal, so it's the one that gets to stay. We're changing Presence of Mind to finally open it up to energy users and grant resource pool increase. Big brain getting bigger, rather than a partial alt reset. Okay, restore 20% maximum mana or energy and increase your maximum mana by 100 up to 500, your maximum energy by 10 up to 50. Interesting. I wonder what kind of combos you can do. Probably really good on Lee Sin, right? You run out of energy sometimes on Lee Sin, I think. What characters run out of energy? Like, nobody. I think Akali used to run out of energy, not anymore. Senna no longer gains double stacks in area and blah blah blah. Who fucking cares? Spell Thief's conversion no longer converts ability power from Spell Thief's Edge into adaptive force. Senna no longer gains double miss stacks in ARM, whatever. Holy moly, that was fucking huge, man. An hour and 7 minutes. Well, I did bounce for like 5 of those, maybe 10. Interesting. I guess we'll see how it goes. Wow, that is a lot of fucking reading. Holy crap. My brain is fried. I was like having difficulty with standard sentences. That's pretty funny. Okay, well, I'm much happier now that I understand how the dragons work, knowing that Rift Herald essentially 66% murders itself when it gets a charge off. That also makes more sense to me. I'm less upset now reading that than I was before. I hope that they change the Grievous Wounds indicator because they seem to be doing an overhaul. Elcove still seem kind of fucking stupid because the characters that can take advantage of them the most are already high mobility. Characters like Camille, Gnar, Riven, characters that can't really take advantage of them super well are low mobility, so they just die in the cove instead. I don't know. Just increases the prevalence of mobility creep in bot lane and top lane. There are a bunch of characters in bot lane that are going to take way better use of it too, i.e. Ezreal is going to be able to jump the wall. I don't know if Lucian can jump it. He can go through the thinner sides of it, I guess, and gain some distance advantage. But in terms of characters that can actually use it really well, I don't think that there are a lot. But top lane, in terms of mobility creep, there are quite a few characters who get a huge advantage out of it, who don't really need a buff, and there are a bunch of characters who don't get any big benefit out of it at all, so we'll see. It's going to be exceptionally annoying as well, bot lane, because we have so many new threats to deal with. Senna gets super long-range poke, Xerath gets super long-range poke, and Blitzcrank grabs are really long. It just seems like more room for them to play and be annoying, so we'll have to see. And I don't really like this brush at blue buff, but the dragon changes I think are less substantial than I originally thought. I do enjoy that the first 3 are always going to be different, and that also lets you prep more easily for what kind of elemental rift it's going to be, because if the first dragon is ocean, you know that it's not going to be an ocean rift. If it's infernal, you know it's not going to be an infernal rift. So it does limit some stuff, and then nerfing the bonuses that you're getting is pretty important. The shift of usefulness into mountain and ocean I think is not super awesome, but hey, something's got to be the strongest. Cloud is by far the weakest. This is useful on the least amount of people, so guess we'll see. And then by them saying that you never get people to 20% health, knowing that you only have to get somebody to 20% health and then they instantly die is going to change the way that team fights work. This is just the truth, right? Like, knowing that you only have to kill somebody with 80% of their health and then they die instantly changes the way that team fights are going to work. So I think that they're understating the true power of Elder, but we'll have to see. The dragon changes, like I said, I think are much less super banana crazy than I thought that they were. And most of this stuff makes quite a lot of sense to me. I wish that they would remove some damage from support characters. They did remove some stuff down here that we didn't super read, but I think that support should be substantially weaker at early levels, like at least pre-6. Their support item should not give them comparable damage output to somebody that has 50, 60, 70 farm. It really doesn't make sense why you should have as much golden damage as somebody who's been actually doing something. That's my complaint about that, but other than that, I'm excited to try this. I'm probably going to spam the shit out of preseason. These are big changes in a way that's exciting. Like, these aren't big changes in like, well, we deleted 10 items and added 10 new ones that do the exact same thing. The gameplay changes, I think, are going to spice things up, but we'll have to see. I've been wrong every single time that I thought that Riot fucked up. Like, I thought that Rift Herald was a terrible idea. Rift Herald turned out to be a really positive addition. I thought that all of the blast plants were going to be a terrible idea. They turned out to be incredibly positive for the game. Even if they are annoying, I think that most people who play with blast plants now, it's like, oh, thank God the blast plant is here. Now I can get away. And then also, oh my God, the blast plant is here. I can jump into his red pit and fucking murder him instantly. There are a lot of fun things at blast plants, and healing from the honey fruits and being able to clear wards. This distinguishes League more as its own game than other MOBAs, even though it seems like the clones have largely stopped. I wonder how, after this year, how these changes play out, though, if this is just the new League of Legends, because where do you go from here? Where do you go, right? Like, modify, maybe add a 5th elemental, or 4th or 5th elemental to the rotation, maybe modify what the Elder and Baron do, but like, where do you go from here? This seems like maximum complexity that most people are going to be able to deal with. This is already, if you're just coming into the game, it's like, well, okay, so here's how the dragons work. The first 2 aren't important, then the 3rd one that spawns is going to change the map as soon as it lands, and you can stack up the dragons to get a certain dragon soul, and then there's a new dragon that spawns after a team has successfully killed 4 dragons. It's interesting. I guess we'll see, folks. I guess we'll see.